continue on with more myofascial release up and around, down the back, the posterior side. Most of the tissue work, normally I would do 2 minutes at a time, but we don't have that kind of time. Because I mean, I could literally just spend an hour on myofascial release, and I'm trying to get in all the other stuff too. So it's going to be more of like an introductory for you to kind of like assess, okay, where do I need to spend more time, and then how does it make you feel? For some reason, it's coming up. Sometimes you might hit a spot in your body where like it invokes tears or something. Like all of a sudden you get really super emotional. Totally normal. That might happen, and that's just you like releasing something that might be stuck in the tissue. So that's kind of cool if that happens.
It's alright. If anyone cries, I won't record that.
I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you because I've been there and that happens, and it's kind of a cool thing. When you first go through it, it might be a little like, what's happening? But yeah. But that better out than in, for sure. Yeah. So tissue work, then we're gonna go into some breath stuff. We're gonna go to the wall. We're gonna go to the bench. My purpose there, my goal there is to kind of teach you what stability should look and feel like, and how to get there, and then B, how do we maintain that as we hinge and move through a squat or a hinge, right? So we do that in CrossFit all the time. We squat and hinge, but if we're not moving from the sit bone, we're moving from our spinal erectors. So our spinal erectors within hip flexion and extension, if we're not properly trained to use the glute and the hamstrings or your sit bone, we'll talk a lot about that. But if your sit bone isn't flexing and extending the hips, the spine will. And that's where we get even more compression, even more loading, which results in even more pain. And the idea is that our spine should be long in the back, our anterior core should be working. This is probably what you're dealing a little bit with, right, from the other day. So getting this to work more and this to work less is going to help alleviate some of that. And in the myofascial release we'll release some of that tissue and see if that helps. And then we'll activate the other side simultaneously. So Lee and I talked about calling that basically creating space for possibility. Yeah. Trademark that or and then the last piece after we're done. So your fascial systems, there's more than one. You got a deep front line, you got a functional front, you got a lateral or spiral line, you got a back lines of connective tissue. Basically, like the inside of the leg will come up all the way through and connect to this other arm, right? And so having a restriction, if I have an adhesion over here, like say this sling here and I have an adhesion here, do you think that's going to cause issues in my shoulder? Do you think that's going to cause issues in my foot, right? And this is where PTs go wrong. It's like I'm having shoulder pain and they just do shoulder stuff, but if you're already in a bad position and you haven't addressed the fascial adhesion, you're just making it worse. You know what I mean? And you haven't even fixed what's going on down here either. So, I digress. Does that make sense so far?
I have no idea. We have
one day I want to be like, you know what? I'm finally fucking getting it. That's my goal. That'd be awesome. Okay.
I'm the dumb guy. Okay.
Get out of here.
No, my wife will tell you. She's smarter than I am. She is. She is.
Okay, so we're gonna do a bunch of these. We'll probably do like that many, not really, but I'm gonna do these in a minute and a half intervals. And then, so we're gonna go off the clock. We're gonna spend 90 seconds. We're gonna go to the other side. We're gonna go to the other side. We're gonna go to the other side. We're just gonna continue to work our way up. To start, you're gonna need probably one of these, probably one of those. That one's good too. So you're gonna need one of those. You're gonna need one of these. Is that? You're gonna need a drumstick, and this is just to point out that any tool will do. So everyone's got a drumstick. Everyone needs one of these. So let's start with one of these balls. Do you have one of those? Yeah. Do you have one of those? Nope. One of these here. Like that. We'll start with one of these. Let's come over there. Is that this? Yep. So we'll start right here. So the area that I want you to focus on is going to be from the heel all the way to your pinky toe, so all of this area right here. Okay? So basically, you have this ball. These balls are kind of squishy, and that's intentional. I think a lacrosse ball is a little bit too aggressive, so using a lacrosse ball might, you know, might have some guardian responses, right? So and one thing you can notice too, like if you put your heel on the ground and sort of just move your foot side to side, it changes the shape of your foot. We want a wide toe spread, right? This is the way that our foot should, and actually mine, it still has an abundance of room for improvement, but we want our toes to spread wider. Okay, so what I can do is put my foot on the ground and kind of just move side to side. I can let my ankle roll on the outside, ankle roll on the inside. Use a small ball. Use that one. I'm going to bring it a little bit more towards the middle of my foot, and I'm going to pretend that the ball is an orange, and I'm going to squish it, like I'm trying to squish the orange. And I'm going to come up just a little bit. I'm going to squish it. I'm going to spread my toes as wide as I can, and I'm going to squish the ball. And you can try to grab the ball. I'm going to go up just a little bit, and try to squish the ball. Grab it. So I'm spreading my toes, and squishing the ball, and then I'm grabbing the ball. Spread your toes. And this is the foot that I broke, the mango. You see how using the ball, I can kind of manipulate some of this tissue here to get a better toe spread. I don't know if we saw that. Now I'm going to go back down. Looking good. That's okay. We're going to freestyle. Okay, now I want you to go from your heel to the outside edge of your pinky and just sort of scrape all the way to the pinky toe. And then go back to the heel and scrape the ring finger.
You have a ring finger on your foot?
Yep. Heel to your birdie. You got a birdie finger, right? Birdie. And you got an index finger. And then you got a thumb. And then I want you to curl your toes under and just sort of kind of press your foot into the floor. Okay, now walk around. Tell me if you do this left to right. Yeah, tell me what you notice in your foot.
My right foot feels lighter than my left.
Okay, so a little bit more awareness of the ground. A little bit more ability to maybe grab and function.
I don't usually grab stuff with my toes.
Well, you're about to. Okay, so you do the same thing. Right on the heel, spreading the toes.
Now my son can peel a banana with his toes. Man, it's gross.
Part of the trick.
That's
Yeah, how did you
impressive.
just happen to discover you could do that?
I don't know if it makes him a chick magnet or what. But I'm serious. He can do it.
That's amazing.
So I'm spreading my toes and grabbing the ball. Very good. It's all good, bro. Are you coming in the morning?
That's the plan.
Okay, now when you do the strip from the outside to the pinky, the outside to the ring.
You mentioned you like to go barefooted.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on grounding?
Oh, yeah, barefoot in the grass, barefoot in the sand all the time. If I'm in a state of like anxiety, I need to be outside and get either sun or just get out in nature somewhere, and that helps to calm me 100%. Walking around barefoot, I mean, I try to do it as often as possible. It's just I prefer it because my feet are communicating with the ground. Like I have awareness, and your feet. There's more neurotransmitters in your hands and feet than anywhere else in the body that provide information to your brain about where you are in space and time. It also communicates with the tissues all the way up the body from like your knee. So your foot communicates with the knee then talks to the hip, or it doesn't. So if your foot's asleep at the wheel, then your knee and your hip are left to figure out, be like, I don't know, I guess we're doing this. And that's where, you know, you have compensation and dysfunction. And as a result, over time, you have to go see somebody because your back hurts or your hip hurts, so on and so forth, right? So, okay, walk around, tell me how that feels.
I feel like I got a foot massage.
Yeah, well, you basically did. But what is your, so if you were to find a squat stance right now and grab the ground and be able to just a little bit, how does that feel in terms of your normal?
Well, you want me to squat
Well, I
over
don't want you to
there?
squat, I just want you to grab the ground with your feet and just see what that feels like.
I feel more on the surface.
Okay.
But you ladies can express your opinion at any time.
Are you jumping in? Yeah, jump in. Cool. Cool. Grab a ball. Well, we just did our feet, so use this one. I just want you to quickly go through your foot as a table. Yeah, yeah. You know Kim? Lee? Yes. Me?
Like blue jeans.
I need you. Cool. You've been here for a week now? That's it. I saw you doing models very hard. You did a nice job. Yeah. Cool stuff. Cool. Okay. I'm just going to do it in the fast forward version. We're going to go to a drumstick next. We're going to go from the foot to the inner part of the leg, and we're going to go to the quad. We're going to go to TFL, iliacus, psoas, and diaphragm. So